Hello, right there. Welcome to the second episode of The Healing Journey with me, Angel Shanice. Thank you so much for tuning in to the second episode and for the love, the feedback, and for all the comments that you've given us so far. So, on The Healing Journey podcast, we're going to be talking about how we'll heal from different circumstances, how we're healing from the experiences that we've gone through. And we're also going to be sharing with you experiences from other people on what they've been through, how it happened, and how they eventually healed. Welcome to the second episode. So, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that has affected probably 80 to 90% of all of us, if not all of us. Yeah. Um, in life, we have relationships, we have family, everybody around us, we have a relationship, but most of them tend to either be toxic or healthy. But how many of them are healthy? Most of these relationships are very, very toxic. And on today's episode, I have a very beautiful guest with me today. You probably all know her from somewhere. I know you're looking at them like, oh my God, is that her? Yes, she is right here. And we're going to be talking about healing from toxic relationships today. So, guys, this beautiful lady you see right here, she's had her fair share of toxicity in relationships. Is that right? But before we get into all that, please introduce yourself to us.
Hi guys, my name is Lydia Wanjiru. I'm a content creator, a YouTuber, and an entrepreneur. And mostly I create content around relationships, families, friendships, and general lifestyles. And thank you for having me, Shanice.
It's a pleasure. I should be the one thanking you because, first of all, you're really doing very well. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Your content is doing very well and proud of
Asante.
you. I mean, it's very good when you're seeing ladies out here winning and talking about things so comfortably, which is what you're doing.
Thank you.
So, Lydia, you
Mhm.
said you create content and around relationships,
Mhm.
family, lifestyle,
Mhm.
and all that. And when I look at a lot of your content,
Mhm.
a lot of it really dwells around relationships.
Mhm.
Because I maybe let me just put it here. What actually caught my attention with Lydia's content is someone somewhere just a while back, that is. Someone posted somewhere and they were like, hey, this chick, she's always talking about how men are toxic, how CG what, how this relationships. And I was like, I really need to follow her. But to be honest, that was their opinion. In my opinion, you are actually talking facts. You're talking about what is actually happening out
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
So, Lydia,
Mhm.
but tell us what is actually the base and what led you to creating this kind of content in the first place?
First of all, when I started, I just did like a small clip on my on TikTok. This is the last year August. I'm 1 year old. I'm 1 year old, a few months in content creation, and the first video I did, it went viral. It had over 800,000 views in a
Wow.
week. So I was like, "Huh? What is happening?" And it was basically asking people to say what kind of single they are when they're going out for dates. Like, what type of single are you? Are you single, single or married, single or bestie,
Single
single or
searching.
searching, single or with a baby mama, such thing. And it went wild. And also, to be honest, I've had a fair share of toxicity in relationships, even in general lifestyle, like in family, how I
Mm.
grew up. I've grown around so much toxicity to a point that I was like, no, someone has to say something, someone has to take at the heart of calling others out. And that's how I just started. And to be honest, relationships are a big part of anyone's life,
True, very
whether
true.
it's through a friendship,
Mm.
an intimate relationship, a family.
Yeah.
All of them are relationships. Just basically, it doesn't mean I'm just calling out men. It's men in relationships, men
Yeah.
as siblings, men as colleagues. It's everyone. And I don't
Mm.
also call out men only. Sometimes I embarrass women.
You're being
Women.
point blank.
I don't choose. I don't
Mm-hmm.
choose. I'm on the just side.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I know it doesn't feel. It feels like I'm rubbing it on men, and
Yeah.
men don't like to be corrected. To be
True.
honest, if you want to
True.
be a man's enemy, just call him out. You're his automatic enemy, and I don't mind having enemies.
Oh, really? I like that because you're actually speaking
The
facts,
truth, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hey, so we shall not dwell on that because I don't want people coming here and saying, why is she saying all
It's all
that?
right. Say it. Fungua
Waongee
roho. Fungua
watanyamaza.
roho. No, fungua tu roho.
Anyway, it is allowed and it is a free world. And as
Mm.
content creators, we are open to whatever feedback and feels
Comes
they
back.
have, right?
True.
Anyway, so Lydia, you mentioned something about how you've gone through your own fair share of toxicity in family, in relationships, and looking at you and how beautiful you are and how well you're doing now. Eh?
I carry myself so well.
Extremely.
Mm-hmm.
It would be hard to imagine that your family actually took you through a hard time.
Yeah.
Probably just tell us a bit more about that because you know when someone looks at you they see a picture perfect looking person, a content creator who's doing so well. So I mean when you're telling us that, it looks for us we'd think you have the most supportive family,
Yeah.
you have a very strong support system. So what exactly happened?
So I was orphaned at the age of either 8 or 9 years old. That is in 2002. And I don't know my father. I've never met him. And to when my mom died in 2002, she took me. She had earlier on asked her aunt to if she can take care of me because I'm the last born in case something happens to her. So it's a whole new family. I had not known them before. You know, like the way you grow up, you seeing your cousins, your aunts.
Yeah.
During school holidays, you go visiting them. They were completely people I've never seen. But so I went in and different environment, different people, no mom, no siblings because I left my siblings in Eldoret and now this is back in Nakuru. And so you know how people treat someone. Your mother is not around. In case you are beaten, no one can ask them why are you doing this and this. It was so much. It was so much
I'm so
from
sorry.
being made the house girl of the family to being abused,
At the age of 9.
the abuse came later.
Okay.
Later when I was in class 7. Uh, but immediately I could feel the difference, the difference in presence of my mom. And in class 2, you don't know what really death is. You don't know like your mom is gone. You don't know maybe the way you say Amanda atakuja. Nini, you don't know really what death is until you start seeing some differences. Maybe on Sundays you used to be taken out for play dates, how moms take you out for picnic after church, unapelekwa mahali you eat to chipo nini. So that it became a rapid change. And also being woken up in the morning to prepare maybe the rest of the family, like my grandmother, like open their doors. It's a whole homestead. They are very rich people. So
Wait, very rich people.
yeah, it's one of the richest family in Nakuru.
And they're taking you through that
Yes.
at your young age.
Yes. That's why for me, the reason why I said I'll start talking about it is because I saw them treating their children so well. Those are my cousins, that is.
Yes.
I saw them being taken to the best of schools. I saw them having the best of hairstyles. I saw on holiday, you know how back to school lines, and now on holiday you're taken out for salon, to braids, to beads. It's a holiday style. I think everyone has had that
There's
phase.
always been that, yes,
Sindio?
true.
So, and then, new clothes now and then, new shoes. But for me, I used to depend on inheriting. When my cousins came to visit at my grandmother's house, the way you forget some clothes, like to shorts, to clothes, nini, nini. So those are the clothes I depended on to inherit. So to me, those are the new clothes.
So for you were just waiting for the time they'll get new clothes so that you're able to get something to wear out of what
hoping
they've
they
left.
will forget some clothes in my grandmother's house because now those are
God.
what especially panties.
Oh no.
When I was giving this story on Lingugi's show, I forgot very bits and bits. And later on, even my friend was saying, you didn't even say anything on that episode. I said, you know what, it's okay. Because if I'm to ask them, who one day came holding a new panty and gave it to me to wear?
So how would they expect you to survive? Your mom is gone.
Who cares?
They are your
You have a
guardians.
roof over your head. You have food.
That
You're
should be
being
enough.
taken to school. So what else do you want?
Oh God.
You have enough. That's what they said. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's true. They took me to school. They gave
Mhm.
me a roof over
Mhm.
my head,
Mhm.
but the discrimination is
Mm.
where
It was very
I
evident.
came later to realize they were actually capable of treating me like their own
True.
and giving me the best of childhood,
Mhm.
but they didn't do that. Because tell me why
Mhm.
we're in the sitting room
Mhm.
watching a cartoon or a movie with my cousins,
Mhm.
and anytime I hear my grandmother or my aunts coming in the living room,
Mm.
I would actually hide. Even my cousins would tell me, Shosho anakuja, Shosho anakuja,
Because
or
it's wrong for
Auntie,
you to be there.
I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be doing something. There are
Oh
utensils or
God.
the sink, tables maybe need to be cleaned, or you are supposed to be planning the next meal.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you're not
Mhm.
supposed to be seated with the rest of the family of your
Mm.
cousins
Mm.
watching something.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll be pretending I'll continuously hold a tablecloth, the
Mhm.
one for
Mhm.
wiping the
Mm.
table.
Yes.
So when she comes in, I'll
Mm.
pretend I was
You have to
wiping.
pretend.
I was wiping the
Oh my
table. So that's
goodness.
toxicity on family
Yes.
level.
Yes.
And then
So Lydia, sorry, in on that point, at
mhm,
this young age and you're being taken through all this,
mhm.
how exactly did that make you feel? Because first of all, I can imagine the rejection that you felt, the
Oh.
pain of I wish mom was still there. I mean, how did it make you feel at that point?
Number one, I knew I didn't belong there. Like you don't actually belong to this family. And
Yes.
even they would sometimes say it
Mm-hmm.
verbally,
Mm,
like you don't compare yourself to our children.
you're not the same.
You're not the same. Like know your place. You
Mm,
know
mm,
your
mm,
family members are so and so, and
mm-hmm,
they are there. Some are mad.
mm-hmm.
To be honest, yes, some of my mom's siblings, they are not. They're mentally ill.
Okay.
So they would constantly remind you that this is not where you belong. There is where you belong.
Oh
So
God.
when I left, that's why I said I have nothing to say to them, or I have no kind of relationship to rekindle with them. It's because there was no a relationship to begin with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They constantly reminded I don't belong there. And sometimes it was heavy. I used to cry almost every day myself to bed. Sometimes I would sleep with a knife under my pillow.
Oh God.
Oh, it's just that
Oh.
I don't know. Sometimes I fell asleep and forgot that I was supposed to kill myself or something,
Mm,
and I would just go on. But it felt every day different, and it felt
devastating.
that I
Mm,
don't actually belong here.
mm,
And
mm.
sometimes, at some point, I became so, what is it called, resistance.
Mm-hmm,
I could be beaten and I can't cry. I'm like, you can beat me. I
mm,
would do something intentionally,
mm.
and they would beat me and I wouldn't cry. And I'm
Because now you're used to it. I mean, what haven't you done
what
just yet?
even when you haven't done anything, you're
Mm-hmm.
guilty.
Mm,
Let's say something breaks in the house, like a
mm,
cup, a glass, a thermos,
mm-hmm,
and sometimes we had house helps.
mm-hmm,
Because it's a big homestead.
mm-hmm.
And also sometimes we had this guy that used to come in like 2 days or 3 days a week
Okay.
to just do general cleanliness. I've told you it's a rich family.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we are so many in the house, but whenever something happens, it's me.
It's
And
Lydia.
there is no being
Mm,
asked, did you do it? Or you all of you to be called and ask who broke this glass?
mm-hmm.
No, everyone, it's me. Like, "Ni wewe, you are very careless." And it got to a point like there is no being asked, there is no like a point of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So what, I couldn't defend myself. So si nitapigwa na uchungu itaisha na
Mm.
maisha itaendelea.
You got used to
Nitapigiwa
it.
kelele, wapige kelele, ulale ukiumwa na kichwa. Tomorrow morning you wake up, things are
Oh God.
just the same, but the day goes on.
It is so painful just to think about the fact that this is the same blood.
It
The
is.
same blood that runs in your veins is the same that runs in
Mm.
theirs, but they just chose to behave like you don't matter to them. And I can only imagine now, after going through such a difficult time, growing up at a very young age, and now we're even dealing with suicidal thoughts. How did it eventually affect you? I mean, as you're transiting into adulthood and young
Mm.
adulthood, because of course, when you go through such things, you feel rejected, you feel out of place, and most of the times, probably, you will tend to want to withdraw yourself.
Mm.
Or just like you say, when we may form that resistance
Mm-hmm.
to a point now, when someone like approaches you, even for good things or for whatever it is, for you, you feel like I don't belong,
I don't
or
belong.
I've been hurt enough.
Mm.
How can you give me the love that I didn't get from my family? And if you can,
Mm-hmm.
now you start thinking, um, um, I will depend on you for all this love. The love that I didn't get from my family. Now I depend on you to give it to
No,
me.
no, that was me.
Oh, really?
Now, I didn't resist. I've never resisted love or friendship.
Okay.
I've always been so welcoming. Even my friends say, at first, I would seem like I'm arrogant, I'm a bit off-ish. But once we start speaking, you would understand that I'm really calm, I'm very social, and I welcome friendships and relationship. In fact, I've come to realize that I should slow down because I'm the type to embrace people,
Ah,
and
okay.
already within a
Okay.
week or two, I'm seeing you like my long life friend, my long life partner, and I close up on everyone else because I have you.
Now you're the
Especially in
focus.
relationships, I'm very
Okay.
focused and I'm ready to give it my best because you see, with that kind of childhood, you would think you are lacking something.
Yes,
So
of
you'd
course.
tend to overcompensate on other areas, especially to accept being accepted. So you want to do everything you can because this person, they have said they love you and they're showing you bits and bits of actions here and words to show that they love you. So you tend to overcompensate on your presence so that this person never leaves.
So you want to cover up for all the love that you missed on getting when you were young from this one person
To get it
or
all
this
from
one
this one person.
relationship. But Lydia, we both know that doesn't
It
go
doesn't
well
work. It doesn't work.
because you can imagine this person has their own fair share of whatever they've been through.
Yeah.
Then you've come with yours,
Yeah.
but you expect them to give you, 110% because they already can't give you 100. You already have very, very high expectations. And somewhere along the socials, I came across a story about how tutaita nini character development
I have a degree. I have a
of
degree.
character
I
development.
graduated.
Oh my goodness, that sounds juicy. Now, Ebu, tell us, Lydia, because I can imagine when you found love, the bits and bits of love that you were not getting when you were young. Did you ever at any point in time find a man that made you feel like, yes, this is where I belong? Yes, now I have a place that I feel like is home. And you're giving me all that I couldn't get. Did it ever get there?
It
What
has
happened with this person?
it has always gotten there, I think, with people that I've dated. Every person that I've dated, I've always thought to myself, oh, finally, I found my place, I found my person. Because again, I've told you, I'm the type that will give my all when we
Okay.
start off.
Okay.
I will not even take time to think, oh, who's Shanice? What is she about? What are the do's, the don'ts? You know, are his values aligning with mine? Are his mission aligning with mine?
Okay.
The goals in life, I initially didn't take that time to get to learn and know someone. And now I think the two major character development stories. I'll just have a summary. One happened immediately I came to Nairobi,
Okay.
and the guy made me his mom, his sister, his wife,
Hi,
his friend,
doll.
his
Hey.
provider.
Hi. Hey.
His Mrs. Washington.
Uh-huh.
I did everything for this guy. I overdid.
You were
I
just not a
overdid.
girlfriend.
I overdid because tell me why I'm here giving his mom money at every end month.
Excuse me?
Yeah, for shopping and chama and kulipa bill ya stima home.
Where's the ring, Lydia?
Where?
Where is it?
It
Show
was
us.
it was being made in the
You know how they say, where did I say something about Bila Pete? I mean, why are you playing wifey duties in the first place? Why were
I was
you?
young, stupid. You know, one thing about me, I'll not regret anything that I've gone in life. I've never regretted, by the way, because what else is supposed to teach you if you're not observing from others? Then you have to learn through experiences, and that's why I tell nowadays people, you don't have to learn through experiences.
Yes.
You have just to listen to what people are doing and watch and learn from it. But unfortunately, I'm among the few or the many that are having to learn through experiences. So this
She's
guy
allowed.
I would wake up, prepare him to go to the office because they're those types that where suits. So you have to iron, you have to brush the shoes, you have to cook him breakfast. He goes to work, then I prepare for my work. I was a waitress, so this is 8 to 9 hours of working. He would come for lunch at my workplace. I would buy him lunch. He would come for an evening snack when he's leaving to home, and I would give him money to buy dinner. I would find
Excuse
that
me?
he has not cooked, then I cook. It was
But I'm
it was a
tired.
lot. It was a lot. But eventually I found out he's cheating on me. He used to go to other ladies' house and then tell me that he's visiting his mom in Nakuru, only to find out he has two other women that he goes to and claims that he lives with his younger sister who is in KU.
So
So
the
the
other
ladies
girlfriend.
can't come to the house. So when I found the messages, I was like, adios. I left. The good thing with me, you see the way I'm throwing myself in. To throw myself out is I have the same speed.
You have the same balance.
I have
You
the same
figure it
balance.
out.
If we I've come in as quick as possible. It will take me 1 minute to know out.
I need
and
to
I'll go.
leave.
I think God balances.
Because I'm really thinking of what kind of toxicity is that this man, the fact that you actually said you prepare him to go to the office.
Yes.
So he is working. He's on a salary or whatever
Yes.
kind of pay he was getting. But you're still supposed to be the one to provide for basic
And to
needs.
go for 50-50 on rent.
What do you mean?
Oh
my goodness.
yeah.
So there's men and then there's
he was much older than me. I think we had an age gap of 11 years.
Excuse us?
And
this man was taking through all that.
Yeah. That's why I say there's nothing. Love has nothing to do with age.
True.
When someone tells me, oh, there's this old guy, and it's not about the age. You can find a 70, 80, 90-year-old very toxic person who is who wants to be babied around. You can be 20 and you'll find a 30 years old man, but as long as he's not a man, his age does not dictate his maturity.
That's true.
That's where we go wrong. No one's age dictates their maturity. It's their personality, their character, their habits, who they are, what they believe in.
Yes, that's true.
So age and love, out.
Two separate
things. And then the second one was, now after the guy, I stayed like 7 months. I got another job somewhere else. As he was a colleague, one big mistake, one big red flag.
Those working
He started
couples.
dating, and that was one guy that I thought I would actually spend the rest of my life with, because the romance, the romantic part of that relationship was amazing. Amazing. And you see the way I leave other relationship, doesn't take me much thinking to leave a relationship. For him, I gave him 3 chances. You break up, you go back, you break up, you go back, you break up, you go back. And until I was like, hey,
it's too much.
My heart.
But why were you breaking up in the first place?
Cheating. There was so much cheating involved. There was so much lies involved. And then his character and his family. I don't want to say it because people, when I posted this video, there were so many comment section under my YouTube channel under that video about me mentioning the tribe.
Okay.
So yeah, it was again tribalism was part of it, maybe. Yeah, but I didn't experience it as much. Much later, when we parted, that's when I realized, oh, actually, I was being tribal. What do you say? Tribal quoted, okay. Because his mom, when we went for introduction, his mom, the first thing she asked me was, "Umetoka wapi?" Wewe ni wa wapi? So that time I didn't catch it. Later on, because tell me why she didn't ask me my name. Like, hi, what's your name? What do you do?
So wait a minute. So it's not, okay, unajua ukisema when she asked you umetoka wapi na nini, I'm expecting you've already had a whole conversation of who you are, where you work, and
we didn't even
not.
Speak for 10 minutes.
Because why?
Because number one, I traveled from Nairobi to Oyugis overnight. I paid my own bus ticket. No. The guy paid the bus ticket. I arrived there in the morning around 7 a.m.
Mm.
I found the mom and dad. They are seventh day
SDA.
SDA.
Okay.
So they were bathing to go to church. So I found them in the shower. So when I arrived, the guy asked me, "Let's make tea." So I cooked tea. And then there was no escort, and the guy was like, "Do you have 100 shillings that we could send the shamba boy for tea escort?" I gave her 100 bob. Tukakunywa
Excuse me,
chai na
where are these men? Because
mandazi.
I'm so annoyed right now. What do you mean?
Oh my God. So when
But
we were
aren't
having
you
the
the guest?
breakfast, that's when now the mom asked me where I'm from. I should take care of their son. They don't have another one. So we should, live in harmony. And after wameenda ndo nikaosha nyumba yeye alikuwa amepikia ugali samaki the following day because the previous day because he had arrived a day earlier before me. So yeye alilala huko that night when me I was traveling. So yeye alikuwa amepikia ugali samaki, vyombo zimejaa hapo nje, uoshe nyumba, uache umepika lunch. And then now we traveled to my sister's place back then in Eldoret because we were doing like a tour of introduction.
Where was that guy this whole time? Why are you doing all this in their home? You're the guest.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
ni mimi tu, but because mbona ujitume hivyo?
what level of toxicity
We see,
is that?
the thing is we cannot always blame it on the guy, because the moment you
Well-
show someone you can go to their house for the first time, introduction, and immediately you're willing to go into the kitchen and make tea where you're supposed to be a visitor. I could
Yeah,
have
that's
just
what
said,
I'm
"Hey, me kwanza
thinking.
nimetravel the whole night. How do you expect me to come cook breakfast, clean the house, clean utensils? Tena nitoe pesa sijui za escort. What were you doing? Were you not waiting for me?" I could have asked, but then I didn't. And that's why I keep telling I keep telling women, sometimes ni sisi tumekubali kujibeba venye tumebebwa.
No, true.
Because you are supposed to say no when you think something is not being done right. But honestly, at that time, I couldn't even think about it.
But don't you think that is some level of toxicity that is already existing in the family?
Already in the
Because
family.
I
They
don't
knew I
understand
was coming.
exactly.
So already, ni kama venye home, there are
Right.
guests coming. Your
Yes.
mom wakes you up, muoshe nyumba, muoshe vyombo, mpike. You are already waiting for the guest. And we have been raised knowing that, like, literally, when the
Exactly.
guest comes in, the house is clean, there's
Yes.
food or tea on the table.
Because I'm looking at it from the point of, this is first of all, this is off Nairobi. This is not where you will say it's Bon City problems. This is off Nairobi, where there were parents in the home. And I mean, there was a mother in that home. Why would she allow you to go through that? Because honestly, how do I come into this house? Fine, you want to test my wifing skills, but does that mean so I'm coming into this family to become a slave? Does it mean I'm coming into this house to face all this toxicity?
Again, I think I wasn't accepted from the word go. So there was no much effort for them to put across, because who are they trying to entice or
Yes.
impress?
Yes.
You are not here to stay. So
they don't really care what they do to you.
They don't care.
That's true. Okay.
Even leave alone the parents, the guy himself would have woken up and done all those things, because in our house, because we were living together, he was doing all those things. Because me, I'm the type, I don't like washing clothes, I don't like cooking, I don't like house chores.
When you baby girl.
No, it's because yeah.
In short, when
but
you
it's
baby
because
girl.
I've done it so much in the past.
Okay.
So for me, it's like a trauma response.
Okay.
Let me tell you, if you want me and you
yes.
to never sit at the same table and see eye to eye, ask me to wash utensils, ask me, oh, sioshe vyombo, oh, siupike, oh, sioshe. So, because I've grown up being told, pika, osha vyombo, leta, enda, peleka. I don't like it. It's a trauma response, but for him, he understood that part of my life. Okay. And that's what I'm telling you, he's one person that I really thought we could end up together forever, because he at some point understood where I've come from, what I've been through, and I don't like. And he didn't have a problem with cleaning utensils, washing the clothes, cleaning the house. He was the best at it. So in this situation of introduction, I knew he would have done it. Honestly, if he wanted to, he would have done it. He would have waited for me in a nice way, or in a welcoming manner.
Lydia, I like the fact that you brought up the fact that this man, because you had gone through so much earlier on, and you found someone who understood your pain, who understood what you've gone through, but you got comfortable in that space, in as much as there was cheating, there was some sort of do I call it mistreatment? Because that is so wrong to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still chose to stay.
Mm.
Do you feel like in life we go through certain situations or we've become so accustomed to having toxic relationships and being around toxic people to a point we get so comfortable with it that you become so familiar, you'd rather be around the toxic person other than
Totally.
go face the truth or face someone who'll actually be good because you're already too comfortable or because this person understands your pain. But what you're forgetting is in the long run, you're increasing the trauma,
Yeah.
you're increasing the pain,
Yeah.
and at the end of it all, more damage.
More damage.
So for you, you went on. You continue staying with this guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how
There
did it
is
end up?
the reason why maybe I stayed longer than I should have is because number one, out of all the relationships I've been through, you see, my high school sweethearts and him are the only people that actually understood. I felt that they understood my childhood traumas.
Okay.
So for me, I think, your environment shapes who you are. So for me, I thought at that moment, if only maybe I could forgive him through ABCD and be patient with him, waiting for him to change, he can continue understanding me, learning me, valuing me, and feeding into me. Because there was a moment, dating someone for 2 to 3 years is not easy.
Yes.
There was times he was feeding into me and I loved it, and there were times I was feeding into him. Apart from the bad part, the toxicity part, the narcissism parts, I feel like he was there when I wanted him, and he understood me through some things when no one else did. So that's why it was easier for me to keep forgiving, keep allowing, to keep overcompensating on my love for him to change.
Yes.
Until I realized, nah, there's nothing to work on here, there's nothing to change, there's no future. Yeah, so that's why maybe
So
I
what was the
overstayed.
breaking point? What was the point you felt like,
So-
no, can't do this?
This guy, he had cheated on me several times, only to learn later. The first time we broke up, he, um, I I realized he was still in touch with his ex. His ex was living the same area we were living in, like this, the next street.
Okay.
You see, like the way we are in this street, then a few blocks, the next street.
Okay.
And one day I called him when I was from work, and we wanted when one of us was coming home later than the other one, we would meet at the market and buy supper, and then we both go home.
Okay.
So I was calling him to tell him I have alighted, nimeshuka mat. So where are you? Can we meet? And then when he picks, I hear him ascending some stairs where there is so much echo. And he's like, oh, uko wapi ndo mimi niko. And then I hear someone call his name kwa background, so and so twice, a lady's voice.
Okay.
And he immediately hung up. So I called him immediately back. He didn't pick my call twice. And then, like after a minute or two, he called back and told me, because he had told me he's passing by Kinyozi Baba shop. So that's where I might meet him. Or maybe if I come when he's already done, I'll just call him. We meet kwa market. So I actually went to his barber shop where he used to have his head shaved and stood there outside. I asked the guy, have you seen, because the guy knew me, have you seen so and so? Oh, no, sijamwona. So I waited just there outside. And now when he called back, he told me, ndio anatoka kwa kinyozi. I told him, ndio anatoka kwa kinyozi. Okay. So me, I stood there. So when he saw me, first of all, of course, he's like, so I didn't talk. Like I went back, we went home, we didn't talk that night. He stripped off, asked me to smell him, maybe to find
Are
out
you
if he has cheated
kidding
me or not.
me?
Yes, these people are crazy. Let me tell you something about toxic men. Hey, they will cry,
Oh,
they will
God.
throw a whole tantrum
Oh,
on you as if ni mtoto umenyaganya maziwa.
Yani, it's the fact
He
that he had the
stripped
audacity.
and asked me, you think I'm cheating on you? Come and smell me. Come and smell me. Come and smell. I'm like, why are you so suspicious? Why are you acting like a suspect? I haven't even said you're cheating on me. I'm just asking, who is that lady who was
Yes.
calling your name? Where was that?
Uh-huh.
And then he was saying, like, it is his friend's ex-girlfriend. He had been asked by his friend to pick something. Da, da, da. Then another story, she's my college what? Classmate. I had not seen her for a while. I don't want to tell you this. I don't want you to overthink it. Then another time, he gave me three different
Different stories.
stories.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what?
Not dealing.
Nimechoka. Let me just sleep, shower, and sleep.
Oh wait, the three different stories are in one night.
One night or in a span of 20 minutes.
This gender. Oh, this
That's why
gender.
the
Hey!
suspicions until now to a point of stripping off for me to smell him if he has cheated, because now there's too much story. I'm like, which is which? If she's not whoever I'm claiming she is,
Yes.
why are you having to tell me three different stories? Oh, so I forgave him through that. And then like a few weeks later, they were planning with the lady to go see our mutual friend who was also pregnant. Now his best friend, the girlfriend was pregnant.
Okay.
So my boyfriend was planning with his ex-girlfriend to go see our mutual friend, because when they were also dating, they were the
Yes.
mutual friend.
Okay.
So it's during Corona. So we are just in the house seated. No, we were not in the house. We had gone for a walk. Then he had left his phone in the house. Me, I'm the type. You see, even my phone is right here. I don't. My phone is always on my hands.
Okay.
So the lady called me. Now our mutual friend. Ati, hey, where is so and so? And she was so furious. I'm like, hey, what's up? What's happening? She tells me that this lady so and so, she's been here since morning, and she claims they were to come with the so and so, now my boyfriend. I'm like, which lady? Who you ex wake? And I'm like, wait. What's her name? She tells me, and I'm like, so the name, she's the one it has been saved on my boyfriend's phone. So I already know the name.
Yes.
So I'm like, so I put on loudspeaker for him to say, why is so and so is in our friend's house. Apparently you are going to go visit them together. So yeah, he declined, saying, no, we had just talked about it, but we had not planned. It happened that this day I was to go to work, but I asked my fellow manager if I could extend my off day, because I lied I have something to do. I just wanted to spend time with him. So
Wow,
for him, when he
love.
was planning, he knew that day I would be at work.
Okay.
You see, now unfortunately, Namimi, I'm planning to spend an extra day with him. So what happens? He switches off his phone. He leaves it in the house. He tells me we go for a walk. So the whole day he's tensed.
So
And
he's been anxious.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
anxious. So now apparently the lady was also pregnant. And now at TCG they are going to. He was taking the lady to go see our mutual friend, because they are all pregnant. Not like it's an exchange of notes. And I'm like, this is your ex. Why are you planning to go somewhere with what do you care about your ex's pregnancy? Is it your pregnancy? Do you know what he said? He threw the boyfriend, his friend, on fire. Now the lady's boyfriend, now his best friend.
Yes.
Ati, she's not my ex. She's so and so's ex. Hey, sasa huko kumewaka moto ile boma.
Excuse me?
It's on loudspeaker. Kule kumewaka moto. I'm like, don't lie.
Yeah.
You see, this lady is pregnant. Both of the two ladies are pregnant. And now our friend, whoever was going to be visited, she had high blood pressure. I think she had 3 miscarriages over stress. So now you are adding to her stress by lying that this lady is her boyfriend's ex who is going to visit her.
What level of... Because
why
would you even do that?
Like, wow, why
would you even lie with my name? I mean, just accept what you've done. Yeah. Let us move from it if we are moving, but why?
So he denied the lady being his ex. So what I did, I stole the number from his phone and called the lady. I was like, I went to another woman as a woman.
Other woman.
I need clarification to know who is our man.
Okay. So you just wanted to know where your level was. You knew there's another woman, but...
Yeah, okay, cool. Can you tell me, I've heard about you, ABCD, I'm so-and-so. What is it between you and so-and-so? And she's like... So you just ask him. Why are you asking me? When you don't trust your man, Aki, that lady. I'll never forget that sentence. I'm like, the reason why I'm asking you is because the information I'm looking for I am not able to get it from the right person.
Yes.
And maybe you are a woman, you would feel my pain.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm looking for, I'm digging where there's no ground to be dug, like there's nothing to get. So just clarify the whole issue.
Mhm.
She's like, no, you ask whoever you're supposed to ask. So she hangs up and calls my boyfriend and tells him that I've called her. Do you know, when we went home and the guy questioned me, I had to apologize to him and
Because
her.
what?
I was told that I don't have standards, I don't have value, I am stooping too low, I don't know what I deserve, that I am so shameless to go to another woman and harass her, where I'll never find something, a complete man. I'll never find sijui that what is it called? That man that is perfect, that perfection I'm looking for. I'm embarrassing myself, I'm stooping low. Hey, I
So
was
because you
called
can't find a perfect man,
names.
you should stay and be comfortable when
Yeah,
you're
and
going
stop
through
stooping
pain.
low.
Stop stooping low because you're questioning because of cheating and loyalty,
I
and accept
apologized.
all.
I
That's being
apologized.
totally toxic.
I apologized for calling that lady, and I promised him I'll never call her again.
Oh
True
my
to my
God.
word, I have never called her again.
You never went as the woman
But
again, as the other woman.
now,
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks later, when Corona was at the peak, I realized they're still speaking. I didn't ask him. But then now I was coming to a point in my heart, I'm like,
What am I
Lydia, you
doing?
cannot love a man to this point.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot love a man to this level.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, he had lost his job 2 weeks ago. And I had already told another friend, I feel like this relation, I could not move on from that fight of him and her speaking and me having to apologize and everything. I didn't move on,
Mm-hmm.
even though I seemed like I've moved on.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me to realize he's still cheating on me with her, or he's still seeing her, or they're still in communication,
Mm-hmm.
it's just something that you can't move on
Yes,
from.
yes, yes.
So I was like, you know what? Let's stop this. And I just came home because we had not spoke for like a week, and he was not sleeping at home. Ilikuwa inafika 6. I remember corona curfew was 7 p.m. So ilikuwa inafika 6, anatoka kwa nyumba, and then he'll come tomorrow morning. And I would not ask him where he has been.
And you were
So
just
for him,
comfortable with
because
this.
now me, I was healing. You see, one thing about me, I heal when I'm still in the relationship.
But
So
how are
when
you
I
healing when you're
physically
still
left,
there?
the fact that I was not asking him, where are you? Where are you spending the night? Where did you go? Nini, nini? That is what bothered him, because he's the one who called for the meeting. Like, I want to talk to you. Like, how are you seeing our relationship? What is happening between us? Do you think we are headed in the right direction? I was like, you know what? It's time for us to part ways. It's time for us to call it quits, because this is not heading anywhere. In fact, we are still hurting each other.
Yeah.
Because where are you sleeping nowadays? I don't care. I don't want to know. So I just packed my stuff and left him.
So at this point, you chose to love yourself first.
Yeah, for
And
a
you
few
chose
months
to
before
put
I got
yourself
back.
first.
Yeah, for a few months before
Oh my
I got
goodness.
back.
So we are going back. Okay. How? Why?
It's always a bombshell when I say that.
Why?
We parted ways for 11 months. I went and lived with a friend for 20 days, then took a house, rented a house of my own, a bed sitter, cried, tried to heal, and then I was like, one day, how do you do it? Like, I can't move on.
I can't get over you.
I can't get over you. I just want to know, how do you do it? Like, how did you move on? How did you forget us? And he asked that we meet and talk for closure.
That's the worst mistake ever.
Guy, we didn't even talk.
I don't even want to get into detail because why would you? How? I mean, you see,
And
like
he cheated on me
I said,
again after 3 months.
like we're just done here.
When we were starting, I'm telling you, this guy took me on rounds in this Nairobi. Like
Nairobi,
I don't
umeonyeshwa
know.
vumbi.
That guy, no wonder I'll never forget him. That guy, like, no, I've forgiven him. But like the things, sometimes I normally think the things he took me through, I'm like, how do you live with yourself like that? Because after 3 months, we were to meet He came home. I was living with a friend, so he couldn't come into the house. It was a bedsitter then. Then he came with his friend, and he asked we go to our local car place. We just chill.
Local.
Local. So
Mm-hmm.
when we settled in the local, so he said, "Oh, I had been asked by my sister because now he was living with his sister. I was asked to go back with some stuff for cooking, and because now it's getting late and I might go there much later, let me just call her and tell her to sort herself out on something else because I won't be at home on time." So he went out to make a call to his who?
And you
His
believed it was
sister.
a sister, of
So
course.
me, I'm seated. Hey, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm like, "Kwani wanaongeleshana nani?" So me, I just walked out. Now he was facing the road, and the entrance, the door to the place, is behind him. So when I'm coming outside, he can't see me from behind. So me, the first thing I heard is, babe, sinakwambia. So I'm like, I tapped him on the shoulder, like, "Who are you calling, babe?" So you see, he's holding his phone like this. Oh, when he turns, he'll be like this, and I'm here. So instantly, I would see who he's speaking with. Then I saw Kanini, and I'm like, "I know how you saved your sister on phone. Who is that?" He hanged up.
Ooh.
He was like, "Oh, let's talk." But who are you calling, babe? Who is that? At let's talk. You like overreacting. You like
Overthinking.
we went to his friend's car to speak. The lady called again. I told him, "If you want me to clearly understand there is nothing you're doing with this lady, now pick her call, put it on loudspeaker, speak to her whatever you are speaking." He refused to pick the call. He said, "Oh, Siju, when we had parted, it's a lady he had started flirting with, and now he's wrapping up on that situation." Wrapping up while calling her babe. What situation are you wrapping up on?
Do men ever wrap up
They don't
situations
wrap up
really in the
until you
first
wrap up
place?
yourself and leave the
Yes.
situation. Men don't wrap
Yes,
up
that's
themselves.
true. That's true.
So we ended the relationship until I went over there again. Okay, no, I know this story is always boring.
It's not even boring. I'm actually annoyed because why would you
Yeah.
keep going back to
Okay, I
the
ran through
same
the
situation?
rain until then nilikimbia kwa mvua kama Alejandro. I was crying. And he couldn't run after me.
Oh, but you always
tried.
went back.
He tried. Yeah, after like a month or so, I went back. And he said he wants to take me to Coast so we can talk our issues out. So mimi Lydia nikapanga trip ya Coast na tukaenda.
Mombasani ndiko watu mapenzi yanasikika zaidi eh?
Mimi, I didn't know I was going to treat a man with his friends.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he has his friends that live in Coast. So
Wait a minute. But he just said, he wants to take you to the coast so that you talk this
out of his
things out.
pocket. Even in fact, that point was made clear. He has been paid for a gig he has been on, and he wants to take me to the coast so that we can talk our issues out.
That sounds like a good plan, but with the wrong man.
And
but
even he sent me the money to book tickets, bus tickets. So it started off nicely.
Of course, you knew. I'm sorted.
But tell me why from the drinks we bought to take on the bus and to food, from kutoka Nairobi.
Yani, character development ilianzia hapo
but
Nairobi.
Last year, Easter last year. No, Ramadan, when Muslims, because we were having a very hard time to find vibanda za kukula because it was Ramadan, cost kila mtu amefunga. Yes. So the restaurants are not there until much later in the evening. But 2 weeks later, when I came and told my friends whatever had happened, they were like, "Kai, Lidi utashindanga hivi." And I
so
was
wait
like,
a minute.
There's
a point you lost us. You went to Mombasa. He said he's taking you to Mombasa.
Yes.
So how is this coming back to your pocket?
Apparently, he had not yet been paid. The money had not reflected in his account. So use your money. Once I get paid, I'll.
By the way, whoever you are, I hope you're watching this because why?
Why?
How?
By the way, the issue is my issue
you?
is, you see, if it was a case of me and him just going around coast and having fun in Nini, I think I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But why are you? Listen. Okay. I'm an understanding girlfriend.
Okay, all right. The understanding girlfriend.
But now, why are you asking to meet up with your friends? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, and have nights out, clubs, nini, to a very expensive restaurant to swim more, drinks, beach, nini. Yet it's not from your pocket.
But Lydia, at any point in time, did you think, what if right now I decide not to show this man that I have money, or just decide, by the way, I'm not doing this and leave?
The embarrassment.
Which embarrassment? He'll still sort himself. Okay, who are you afraid of being embarrassed to?
I don't know. I don't like embarrassing myself. You see, if we go out today, Shanice, me and you,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens we don't have money,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I won't think twice about paying the bill, but I would hope after we go home, you'd sort yourself and then you send me your part of the bill.
Okay.
Ama, you see the way when you're having after a meal, ama in a restaurant or anything, and the waiter comes and places the bill there and waits for payment, and people start acting like they are busy on their phones. Someone is going to the washroom, another one is on their phone. Me, I'll pay. I don't like that car mid embarrassment of like, why are you all of a sudden busy? We were
Yeah.
talking, we were nini. Why is the bill coming here now? You're busy on your phone. The other one is receiving a call. The other one is going to the washroom.
Okay.
I'll always pay that. I don't know. I don't know.
It's
Niko nako
okay.
kashida.
Understanding girlfriend will provide. It is well. But Lydia, let's look at this from this point. Huh? So many people out here are in such relationships.
Yeah,
If not, I
unfortunately.
mean, I don't want to mention in percentages because it's a huge number.
It is.
And it's because people have gone through certain things in their early life, that now it is projecting in their relationships. Because in as much as they can see this toxicity, this pain they're going through, all these things that they're going through, they really can't get to the fact that they should move on past it. Why? Because now I'm comfortable. Now I'm getting the love I was not getting. Now I will get to be loved. I'll be taken care of. Someone will show me love, you know? And this is because they probably went through something that they had in their, I mean, when they were young or at some point in their life, just like you went through. Because I don't want to imagine if you got all the love from your family, in as much as your own parents were not there to be there for you. If your own family gave you love, then later on in life, you would not be comfortable with the fact that someone would make you baby them when they're adults.
I don't think
Someone would hurt you, but you keep going back because you'd feel like, I've always felt like I belong somewhere. I have been loved. So I don't really have to seek validation. Because to some extent, we get comfortable in toxic situations and relationships because we are seeking for validation.
yes.
Or because, like you said, you do not want to be embarrassed because you don't
Yes.
want people starting to ask, Haya, kwani it didn't work again? Ama, kwani he didn't pay? Sijui what? You see those kind of situations.
Yeah.
And what do they do in the long run? Number one, probably drain you financially. Number two, get yourself in situations where you're struggling mentally.
True.
They deal with your peace in the worst of ways.
True.
And in the long run, you really don't get to who you're supposed to become.
Yeah.
And if you continue staying in these situations, if you continue staying in this pain, and if you continue letting people walk all over you and project their toxicity on you,
It's a build-up trauma.
exactly. You, in the long run, you become someone who can never really deal with situations.
Yes.
You will just let people walk all over you and then they leave. But what happens to you? They leave you
Traumas.
10 steps behind, number one, in terms of your life and whatever. And then the trauma. But what will happen in the long run? It's about you. How do you deal with the trauma? So, Lydia, you've been through all this, all the pain. And I am sorry for whatever you have gone through.
It's all right.
Because at the end of it all, we all want a perfect life. We want a happy life. No one wants to go through these pains.
Yeah.
And sometimes, to be honest, we don't realize when they're happening.
Yeah, we don't. And then at times we're just not in control.
Exactly.
Like in childhood.
Exactly. You cannot control it.
Yeah.
That's true. But even in adulthood, sometimes, yes, you're in control, but you feel like this is what is working for you because you do not want to feel rejected again. You don't want to go be alone. You know, that fear of, I don't want to, like, you see how you were in this relationship and you felt like this was working. He loves you. He's going to be the man. So there's the fear of, okay, so I leave him. I'm going to have to start afresh with somebody. I don't even know who it is. So you start getting that fear of feeling alone. And to be honest, people out there will judge you, but you don't realize it. You really don't realize it in your own space. So, Lydia, all this has happened. And looking at you now with the glow, but did you guys see how good her skin is? It's not just the makeup. Please go follow her and you will see. She has very
Yeah.
good skin. So, with the glow and with all that you're doing now, which is very good,
Mhm.
how have you been able to heal from what you went through in your childhood, the pain that you've had in your relationships, and the emotional abuse, the
Mhm.
rejection, the
Mhm.
toxicity? How did you manage it? How did you get over it? And if not, what are you doing about it?
Okay. One thing is for sure, healing is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't come to a point in case and say, I'm fully healed from ABCD.
That's true.
Especially anything that has to do with mental and emotional abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a journey. You will you will honestly just learn how to stay with the wounds, but not let them bleed on your present affairs or
True.
in your present life.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I think God has been gracious enough to me to a point that I don't carry people in my heart. I normally say me, I don't have enemies. I have
Mm-hmm.
enemies, but I don't have those people that I've kept in my heart with so much anger that I say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, one day they will pay for ABCD. One
Mm-hmm.
day this and this. No, I don't do that. I have always tried to let go. I
Mm-hmm.
accept, I think most times people don't accept that you also had a role to play
That's true.
in a situation,
Mm-hmm.
whether it turned out good, whether it turned out bad. Because why is it you want only to be associated to be the a good person when a situation has turned out well?
Mm-hmm.
It's the accepting that you also ought to have known that this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not the person you're supposed to be with.
Mm-hmm.
When you accept that, you are able to now outline, this is what I did in to tolerate or to allow ABCD happening to me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what I allowed, and this is how I attracted this person, and this is what I ought to change. From there, you start. Whenever you feel like you're going back to that habit,
Mm-hmm.
or you're attracting that type of a person who abuses you, or that type of person, those people, type of people you're always getting attracted to, you are able to pull yourself out before it gets now to where it normally used to. And that
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm doing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know these are the kind of men I used to attract. So nowadays my whole uh type of a man has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And for friend, because you end up losing a lot in this relationship. Because me, I lost two friends
Okay.
that I feel so bad even. That's the only thing that makes me feel bad, because
Mm-hmm.
I had really good friends, but because of the whole drama in that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
I had to lose them. Not losing them per se, but we cannot sit eye to eye the way we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's just about working on yourself, feeding yourself mentally and emotionally, reading books,
Mm-hmm.
listening to podcasts that are healing podcasts, and
Mm-hmm.
podcasts that you listen to other people's stories and how they overcome it and how they stepped
Yes.
out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And most relationships, especially those who are still in it, the issue is they
Mm-hmm.
are not able to make that decision
Mm-hmm.
because they don't see themselves without that person.
That's
You
true.
have
That's
been abused
true.
so much mentally
Mm-hmm.
that the abuser, like the way the guy told me that I stoop low, that I
Mm.
never find this man that I keep looking for.
Yes.
Everyone cheats. That
Mm-hmm.
who are you? You are shameless, Nini. So if you have someone has allowed those things to be told to them for quite a while,
Mm-hmm.
those words end up becoming you. You
That's
end up
true. That's
believing,
very
because this,
true.
you see,
Mm-hmm.
at one particular time in life, you believed this person when they told you they love you. So
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't you believe him when
Mm-hmm.
he said you're shameless, you are too fat, you will
Mm-hmm.
never find anything good,
Mm-hmm.
you don't deserve
Mm-hmm.
anything good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they strip you of your own self-esteem,
That's true.
that only their words
Mm-hmm.
is what makes sense to you.
You'll
So
still
that's why,
seek validation from
yes,
them.
because
Mm-hmm.
when an abuser
Mm-hmm.
knows how to balance.
Mm-hmm.
Today they will abuse you proper,
Mm-hmm.
proper,
Mm-hmm.
beat you physically, emotionally, with words, verbally, evil. And then tomorrow they will feed into you. They will validate you. They will
Mm-hmm.
they will they will lick your whole body if they have to.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, when once they do that, will believe both days. So it will become hard for you to realize, as much as this person validates me, it is because they want tomorrow to abuse me.
Yes.
So this one is not even a validation enough. It's not a worth validation. So I can do away with this part and choose to step out of these relationships, or a relationship or friendship or family, because what you are getting more from this person is abuse. There's no validation, because he's validating you to be able to abuse you longer.
That's
and what
true.
an abuser does, they will hope one day you will not realize they're abusing you.
Yes.
That is what happened with the
Yes.
family that brought me up. You know, when we aired that episode with Lynn, there was so much messaging here and there, and I didn't respond. But to me, I already know it's because they didn't realize one day you will wake up and realize, oh,
I know what you
this
did.
was abuse. I know what you did,
Yes,
and I'm willing to call you out on it. An abuser is someone that doesn't hopes, praise and hopes one day you will wake up, and you will not wake up one day and realize the abuse. So it's a matter of snapping out of it and realizing the abuse is not worth staying because of the validation.
True,
And but you know, the thing with women and love, the thing because right now I'm dealing with those DMs. I don't know if you follow me on my Instagram.
I see them. Yeah.
A woman can write a whole paragraph, even 5 paragraphs about how this man has done, how he abuses her physically, emotionally, verbally, nini. And then they will finish a sentence of, but I love him. So it you know, but it is even told, Shanice, when someone is apologizing to you and say, Shanice, I'm sorry, I called you a dog, I called you a prostitute, but you know you also, but you know anything that is said after before but the but invalidates all of it.
That's
so
true.
If you have told me
That's
this
true.
person have abused you and then you are like, but I love you, then this one ceases to be valid.
That's true.
So it's hard to advise such a person because you are banking on the love you feel for this person. What about their words and their action towards you?
How
It
genuine
is true
are they?
you love him. True, to be honest, nobody's even arguing with you. You love the person, but their actions, their words, do they speak love back to you? No, they don't. So your love in this scenario is invalid.
That's
it is
true.
not working for anyone. It is working, especially, in fact, it's working against you.
That's
because
true.
you know why? You're continuing to stay through the abuse, as the abuser does anything he wants, anyhow he wants, and you are not able to walk out. But the moment you just sit down and calculate your maths, because if the do's and the don'ts are many than the do's.
There's a very big problem there.
The math is
That's
negative.
true. Yeah.
But it's just about like, and you know, most ladies, I'm sorry, I talk too much.
No, it is allowed. That is why you're here.
Most ladies, you know, our millennial era, me, I'm a millennial. I don't know about you. We have grown around homes or environments or families that we have been shaped, you've grown being shaped up to be a wife. Msichana mzuri avaangi nguo fupi. Nani atakuoa? Ufai kwenda ukionyeshanga kila mtu miguu yako. Miguu yako ni ya bwana yako. Sijui kifua yako ni ya bwana yako. Msichana ni kujua kupika. Msichana ni kujua kufua nguo. Kutunza nyumba, kuosha, nini. Everything you've been grown up knowing you are a wife. Like kila kitu umewekwa ndani ya akili yako.
Your mind has been set
you are being prepared
that.
to be someone's wife.
Yes.
Now, I love Gen Zs. Gen Zs, they're very nice. Me, I love Gen Zs because they are coming to beat the odds. They don't care. Gen Zs don't care. You see, even the way the deadbeats father, they are like, oh, mimi mtoto wangu atanitafuta tu. You know, they bail out of responsibility. And they were saying, oh, mtoto wangu atanitafuta tu. Mi damu yangu itanitafuta. Gen Zs nowadays, they grow up and they're not looking for anyone.
That's true.
In fact, hata mzazi mwenye ulikuwa hapo through their life, wanakudizone.
Yes.
But the thing, what men siku hizi wanateta sana, because nowadays women are realizing, so many women are snapping out of it. So many women are opting not to ever get married.
Yes.
So many women are opting never to have a child. And wanaume wanajam. Wanaume wanakasirika because why are you now women being empowered enough to make a decision for your life? Why? Si wewe mwanamke unafaa kujua, unafaa kufika a certain age, you get married, you get children, you be washing your husband's clothes, you be cooking for him, you be looking after his child as he goes out there and still act single and still sleep with whoever he wants and still, spend his money without being accountable for it. But now they are angry because the modern woman knows what to say no. And in fact, she's not shy to say that, you know what, if this relationship cannot feed into me, then I'm willing to forgo it.
They're speaking their minds.
They're speaking their minds. And then
That's
they're
true.
becoming more career women.
That's true.
They are becoming more, outspoken, and they're calling out abuse.
That's
because most men didn't know that women are supposed to just sit and call them out.
True, very true.
So yeah, it's a lot. Mambo ya mapenzi ni mingi, but mi sichekeleangi mtu ako kwa mapenzi. Juna mimi I'm hoping no one will ever lakini mi cheka because I'm no longer there. But mapenzi ni ngumu, and I'm just hoping that you realize being abused is not love, and you can and pain and hurt is not equivalent to love. Love is gentle. Love is sweet. Love is joy. Love is happiness. Love is fulfillment. And
it's also kind.
It's kind. It's generous. And it's peaceful. So if someone is showing you the opposite, like hurt, pain, and the you know what, the questioning, like, am I worth enough? Am I enough for this person? Am I, is he seeing me worth his love? And you have to, vumilia, persevere through it all. That is not love. Love should, because someone asked me the other day, how do you know it's true love?
It's those signs.
It's when it's peaceful. It's when you don't have to question whether this person loves you or not. Unaweza msho saa 4 za usiku, Shanice, does so and so love you? You're able to say yes without even second guessing.
You don't have to think about
without
it.
Saying, yeah, I love him, but there's no but. There's no but.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. And until we stop associating pain and love, until we stop giving our bodies to hurt to get love, that's when I think we will come to an understanding of what love is.
And I think we also need to stop getting comfortable in pain in the name of love.
In the name of love. Oh.
Getting comfortable in situations. And when we're talking about toxicity in this case, even in families, you need to stop getting comfortable in those toxic situations, in those painful situations, because they are the only ones who can do certain things. Yeah. Because you also find in situations where someone is telling you they're the breadwinner, they're what? If you can really somehow talk about it elsewhere, or find a solution, or start your own healing journey, or block your own peace. Because, sometimes even when you're in a situation, you can start blocking the toxicity that is coming. You can avoid those situations. If someone is calling you and you're feeling like, no, they will just call me and say painful things, avoid that call. If you feel like someone will just call me and abuse me, avoid it. If you feel like they're just going to come into the house and you have to sit, you remember like how you were doing it, and when they are coming, when your grandma, whoever it was, when they're coming in and you have to run away, somehow you were still saving yourself, because whatever insults would have come in, somehow you've dodged them, yeah? So whatever you can avoid, please. People really need to stop staying in places just because that's where they can. And I follow even your DMs, and many women out there are saying, I'm pregnant, so I can't leave.
We have 2 children, and I'm the housewife. I have not worked for 3 years, and these are the things that makes it hard to move on. Because now this man, he's the provider, as he should.
Yes,
but now he's also an abuser. Unfortunately, he abuses you. So sometimes women will choose provision over freedom.
And let me tell you, my friend,
na mimi nasemanga hata kama ni kuuza nyanya hapo nje kwa geti yenu.
Exactly.
Akid, it's the 10 bob coming into your pocket every day is worth than you think. Ni mambo tu ya kukaa kwa nyumba and you're comfortable and hapana. No. Especially in this era, economy ni mbaya, number one.
True.
And then now relationships have become something else.
Exactly.
Please let no one tell you to stay in the house and become a housewife. Make sure you have a source of income. Hata kama inaingiza 10 bob per day. At least unaweza nunua kiberiti, unaweza save ununue sanitary towels for yourself without asking the person for everything. Because especially nowadays, mimi nasemanga as a woman ukizaa sahi mtoto. And I'm not trying to be toxic. I'm just saying mtoto ni wako. You see, today when me Lydia I decide to have a child. Best believe mimi nimekaa chini nimecalculate huyo mtoto ni wangu hivi ndivyo diaper ya 2 years itaenda maziwa in case atakunywa na ndashindwa kumnyonyesha rent inaitwa nini mtu wa kumchunga nani I have calculated akianza shule this is what I'll have done by then hoping and praying that God ata plans zako zita go according to God's will but mtoto ni wa mwanamke. The thing is unazaa mtu amekwambia si unizalie kamoja unazaa. And now you are there you and your child crying because what you assumed that just because he told you anataka mtoto now he was ready to become a dad. He was ready to become a wife. A husband. It does not work that way nowadays, Shanice. Is you decide for yourself as a woman kama unataka kuzaa ujue mtoto ni wako. And this thing of ladies kuzaa wakiwa below 25 years. Wazingia mtu anakuja kwa DM yangu aniambia I'm 21 pregnant I'm 21 years I got pregnant when I was in college kabidi nime drop out sijui my high school my college boyfriend I was like you had no business getting pregnant at 21.
Huda alisema watu wangoje 35.
Honestly me I would support it because imagine Shanice your mom is selling cows ushago anauza tu vitu twa shamba ABCD akulipie college fee and you are going there becoming someone's parents with a college boyfriend and then umerudishia mama yako mtoto nyumbani umerudi Nairobi kuhustle things are becoming hard you know and then the same people will blame their parents ati amekataa kunirudisha shule college alikupeleka college ukaamua kupata mtoto kamrudisha mtoto nyumbani and the same women wanakuja Nairobi they become slay queens mtu hata akikutana na yeye wanasemanga hawana watoto mwanzo discussions ya watoto they have no idea what you're talking about. They don't even know how mtu ana getting pregnant and they don't support their children. Ama kina waramba proper ni sawa na acknowledge the presence of the child but imagine mzigo wenye pia wewe umerudishia mamako alikuwa ametoka kwa diapers kwa napkins umemrudisha nyuma and pia now because you have not finished school umeanza kuhustle. What business did you have when getting pregnant? Aki mimi I wish naweza pata tu like niende nipigange watu wa college to makofi like honestly getting pregnant below 25 years.
But to be honest when we're talking about those getting pregnant and all that for some of them is because of that same issue of getting comfortable in those situations because amepata mtu mwenye anamuonyesha mapenzi amemwonyesha nini in that kwa hiyo harakati amemwambia si unizalie whatever for them they're like I'd rather get this child because for them just like we said they're used to the toxicity abuse. They do not feel like they can deal with anything else right anyway so Lydia enough said a lot has been said so much pain and I'd really like to thank you for sharing your story, not just here on the healing journey, but even on your platforms, even on Lingogi. A lot of people have seen that interview. Everywhere else that you have done it. Thank you for sharing because you're helping other people heal. And that is why even on this podcast, we're bringing people to share their stories because people heal from, number one, hearing stories of other people because at that point, they realize, okay, so I'm not the only one. Other people have been through it too.
And they have come out of it.
Exactly. And number two, they also get to hear how did they get out of it? What have they done? Just like the tips that you've shared. And I'm very, very, very proud of you, number one, for overcoming all that you have because those are things that would have shattered you and probably would not have you here. But you chose to be strong. You chose to fight for yourself and you chose to chase what is meant for you.
Yeah.
And you're still doing it. And we're still going. And
Yay.
probably we'll still host you again here on the podcast
No problem. Needed to.
to have this conversation, other
Yeah.
conversations, because there's so many situations we need to talk
Yeah.
about, right?
Yeah.
So, Lydia, as we wind this up, probably share with people how can they reach you. Maybe a closing tip also for the guys who are really going through this and need to deal with it.
Okay. For those that are going through such traumas, such ordeals, especially if you're still in the relationship, you just have to come clean to yourself and ask you, how is this situation serving me? Is this situation going to change? Or is it going to remain the same or even get worse to a point that we've seen people's life coming to an end, that's dying because of a relationship? And it's unfortunate that your parents or your loved ones gets to lose you just because you decided to meet a stranger and love them beyond yourself. So you just have to be clean to yourself, like calculate, sit down, have your own meeting, ask yourself, how is this situation serving me? Is it draining me or is it feeding into me? And if the draining is too much, walk out. Imagine you can start over. Me, it's just that we cannot say everything here. The number of times I have started over, oh my God. Mimi, I have left my whole house fully furnished and lived in with a man, or even left the things with a guy and started over, because sometimes what holds people back is the material things,
Yes.
like, oh, but I did this and with him, or we bought this and him, or we invested this with him. But then are the investments worth your mental health? If you were able to do those things, you can be able to walk out of that situation, start over and build again and again and again. That's why we are women. Women are builders, women are nurturers, women can overcome anything. That is one of our biggest blessings from God.
Yeah.
We can overcome anything that we put our minds into. We can build from anything. That's why we give birth to a whole human being. Do you know how
Yes. Yes.
gracious that is? Even with the technology, bado kuna complications, but God has given us the ability to just start over from something and build a whole empire. So just choose to walk out, because there's nothing else. There's nothing else, to be honest. Because you cannot force someone to change if they don't want to. You cannot force someone to be what you thought they can be. You cannot.
Yes.
In fact, you're just draining and losing yourself, especially mentally, into that situation, and it is so wrong. Without saying much, because mi naezongea hapa the whole day, you can catch me on Instagram, on TikTok as lydiawanjiru.ke, even on Facebook. And then my YouTube channel is called Get Naked with Lydia. Naked means honest and vulnerable. Huko tunaongea honest conversations. We help each other because relationships are a big part of us.
True.
We cannot do without people, friendships, relationships, family. It's things that are part of us. But we are just trying our best to know how well and healthily to live around other people without, having to sacrifice our mental health.
That's true. All right. Thank you so much, Lydia. Because
Welcome.
honestly, I feel like I've not had enough. Like, I wish we'd have a part 2 of this, but I think we'll plan for another
We will.
episode of this, because there's so much to be said around this.
There
And there's
is.
new things happening every other day. So we're going to have this conversation yet another time.
Yeah.
But thank you so, so, so much
Karibu.
for honoring us with your grace, with your presence,
My
even
pleasure.
thank you. Thank you for all the insights and also for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of the Healing Journey podcast with the Angel Shanice. Make sure to catch us right here on the next episode, where we're going to be healing from another circumstance, healing from another situation. And again, we need to take care of ourselves. So we've got to leave the situations. See you then right here on the Healing Journey. My name is Angel Shanice.